It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and this is a blessing. Let me tell you something. It is so exciting to have Giveon here with us today. You just had some huge announcements.
Yes.
Timing was perfect because
perfect.
You
On the way
posted this
here.
right before you walked in here.
Yes, I announced my sophomore album, July 11th. Beloved.
Woo. And we saw the promos because I was watching yesterday, and so I was trying to interpret it when it came out of, what is this? Like this trailer where you're writing a letter.
Yeah.
And so I guess this album, we're going to get more of a feel. There's 2 singles out now, which we'll talk about. But I was talking to Dan. I was like, what do you think this means? Like,
I love that.
We were. I was like, okay, he's in the phone booth. He's making a phone call. The person's not answering. His interpretation was that you felt like you were kind of alone doing this. I also looked at it, all these microphones in your face. I said, clearly he don't like doing interviews. So I want you to kind of break it down for us because I want to see if we're both right or
Well,
wrong.
I want to try to break it down in a way where I don't give too much away, because I do love the idea of like leaving stuff up for interpretation. But if I had to be direct, it was, so I touch on me in the booth, and that was also just like a simple trying to reach out to no avail. But that could be to a person, that could be me trying to make something to connect with someone, and sometimes it miss or they don't, because it didn't really say like no one was picking up. It just cut before it pick up, so it's like there's still time for someone to
because there's a cigarette burning, so someone's not too far.
Yeah, like freshly burning. So it's like in the mics, in the flashes, that is like my relationship with all of this, because it does get to a point where they could, but it's grateful. It's like it's a balance, because I appreciate it, but also it could get overwhelming sometimes if it's like something's not ready, and people's like, where is it?
Right, and
but,
they were.
Yeah, but that's also a double meaning for relationships too. Like sometimes it was like I was in something and I wasn't ready for it, and I was being
in your 20s.
Exactly, and it was like being forced out of me. So it's a lot of that.
Ooh, okay, I like it. Well, it looks
Without
beautiful.
giving it
It very, just the look of it though is amazing. I want to ask you, because I know that you write all your music. How involved, like with the visuals? How hands-on are you with that part of it?
Yeah, so I have an amazing team who has taste and who knows how to, I guess, execute whatever ideas I have. So it's just like, even with the trailer, I was just heavily influenced by film noir. It's just like a black and white, certain frames, shadow work. So then they were able to pick that up and put it through my filter and make it make sense for me. So sometimes I'll just have like something vague that I'm just moved by, and I'll be like, I want to do something like this, and they'll break down what that is and what it looks like to even do it. So it's a group effort, but I'm definitely involved with how I want the story to be portrayed.
I saw you also had a 5-year anniversary for your first EP.
Yeah.
That is amazing that it's been 5 years.
It's been a minute
already. It don't even feel like it, right?
It flew by, especially, I think we also lost a couple years.
The pandemic.
And I was dropping every year. Like I dropped something 2020, 2021, 2022. And that's why I was just like, the last 3 years I spent working on this.
I saw you said like over 1,000 days.
Yeah. Like real.
Please be
really
patient with me.
So it's just like I could give him something half baked whenever, but it's just like, I hope people appreciate the time it takes into making something.
Yeah, even thinking about how you put out that first project, and it was a pandemic in 2020. How did that affect things for you?
Well, luckily I was just like brand new and I was fresh, so it was kind of low risk, because that was my introduction. So I was still in a building phase versus me having this large core fan base, and it doesn't even reach them because of whatever's going on.
Right.
And we also had the ideology that like people gonna be at home.
Yeah, people at home listening.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm making like club anthems and stuff like that. I'm making music where you have to listen to the lyrics.
And a lot of people broke up during that time too.
Yes, because they start. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because they start spending more time with people than they used to. You're not going to work. Y'all just in each other's face all day.
What were you doing during that time?
I was like in between being single and being in relationships. But I also took that time to just develop as a writer. Like I was just making music and trying to stay out the way. And I was doing like live college performances on like Zoom. It was weird.
And making money from home.
But that was like before I went on tour.
That has to be a weird feeling too, because it's before you went out. And
artists usually because of the expenses and everything, you usually lose money.
Yeah, you're spending money to go on tour because it's promo.
Yeah, so if I was getting paid to go at home, they had to convince me like, all right, now I'm going on tour. I was like, for real?
I can't just Zoom from home?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, why am I going on tour? And I'm like in the red. And I just didn't understand it because I was new. But then I haven't toured my own tour at that point. But then seeing the faces, hearing them singing, it's just crazy. It's like when in the NBA, when they're playing in the bubble versus actual arena, it's like way different.
Yeah, that bubble was hard for people.
It was weird.
Even going to see comedians. I went to some drive-up comedy shows, so they couldn't hear your reaction because everybody's in their car listening.
Yeah, that's different.
And so people would like beep the horn to laugh. It was, but it does make you appreciate the experience more, because I think after that it was like I got to make sure I value these relationships and but it also helped us realize you don't have to be in person for meetings. Now I'm like, we can't just do a phone call because everybody wants to Zoom.
Right. Everyone wants to Zoom. But I also miss the idea of just being in a room and being around people. And that was a weird time too, because I would be zooming. Is that what people call it?
I just said that.
I'll be on Zoom, and then I'll meet somebody and I'll be like, nice to see you again. It's like, no, we never met.
Yeah.
I'm like,
saw you on Zoom.
I thought I met you. So that was a crazy time, but I was happy to be like the soundtrack for it. Because a lot of people, when they hear certain songs, they be like, man, I remember during the pandemic.
Man, listen, up here at iHeart, we played your music so much. It was literally like every hour.
I love that.
And
Thank
that's
you.
not a very usual thing for a new artist. It's not something that normally would happen. That's like, okay, new Beyonce, we're gonna play this every hour, but for you it was like literally constant rotation. That's how much people were feeling you.
I love that. I get so much love and support from iHeart. I have an award at home from them. I think it was like best new artist or best new R&B, one of those.
Well deserved. I'm going to tell you, it's definitely very real.
Thank you.
And you have such an unusual story because of your talent. Just even the way when you first came out that people were hearing about you, going on tour with like a Snow Allegra and not even having full projects is crazy.
Yeah, I think she was just like, she really was a fan of just my voice. And she was just like, I got to have you here somehow. And I opened for so it was me, another artist, and then Snow. And I didn't have any music. So I dropped a song the day of tour.
That freestyle.
Yeah, exactly. But it was Like I Want You. I have a song called Like I Want You that I dropped. And then I did an unreleased song, not a cover, but I still had time left in my set. So I was like, I'm going to just freestyle in East City. And Chicago was the first city.
Do you know how unusual that is? Like the way that a lot of things have transpired for you? Yeah,
and it's like, it's kind of catching up now in the sense of there's a lot of steps I skipped that I wish I didn't skip because I was just I would have been able to learn certain things or navigate certain things, which I still can, but I just got to go backwards.
Like what? Because I know you were discovered basically on SoundCloud, not a lot of views on the SoundCloud, and got signed off of that, which is like, come on, that doesn't normally happen.
They wanted me to go and perform live at a rehearsal studio to make sure my voice was real.
Your voice, I'm not going to lie, in the music, your voice don't sound real until we hear this is how you really talk.
Yeah, and I would get that for so long. And I was just like, I love it too because it's like, that means it's unique and
it's
no
distinctive.
One else will. Yeah.
You know how sometimes a new song comes out and you hear it and you're like, it could be this person, or this person. We know your voice. And so when you put something out, it's distinctively like, oh, okay, no one sounds like you.
Yeah, and I don't like the idea of everybody trying to sound the same. Because then we all just making the same music. Right. So
how important is writing for you? Because I know collaboration's important too.
Yeah.
But what's the balance with that?
I think it's extremely vital to my authenticity. But that's right. I don't like writing. I really don't. I almost write because I have to get it out. but it takes a lot out of me because I'm going back to specific places and I'm literally visualizing it, and it's like I'm almost reliving those feelings and emotions again.
And then performing it then too.
And then performing it.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I don't really like writing that much because it's like, yeah.
But you think you could, with the same emotion, sing an experience that's not yours?
Me personally, no. I can't, because you'll hear it by the way I deliver it. It's just not the same because I'm visualizing. Like when I sing, and especially for my new album, the vocal delivery is levels above my last album.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
so you feel like you've outdone yourself.
Oh yeah. I've obliterated myself, I think. Like I've destroyed anything I've made before this.
I love that. Oh, so the first 2 songs already are smashes. Let's talk about 20s. Okay, because in your 20s, I feel like that's a thing that we all say, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't heard men say that as much as I've heard women say that.
Really?
That I've wasted like all these years.
Yeah, it's kind of mean. Like some stuff, if it comes from a certain person, it's kind of like, why you say that? Don't say that. But it's like, I mean, time is time. You could write the same song and say the same thing.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know if people will hear it because they'll probably hear this one already. But it's just like, I think point of view is important.
It is.
And I was just like, even the state of R&B, we have so much point of view from just the women's side.
Yeah. I think men try to act unemotional.
I don't know why.
It's very few men that you could listen to and he's talking about the heartbreak that he went through, or I wasted my time with her, or even, just rather be with you than someone new. I feel like women stay in relationships a lot because of that, and we talk about it, and men do it, but they don't express it.
Yeah, because I got a couple homies who were probably in something he had no business being in. But it's just like,
do y'all talk about it? Because I also feel like as women, we
talk about it
nonstop.
We'll talk about it with me in the studio.
Okay.
For the sake of just the music, but like outside of the studio, I don't think we necessarily talk about it. But that's one thing I want to push to the forefront. Like, I'm not numbing my emotions. I'm not suppressing my emotions. I'm sensitive and emotional. So I just want to make that more of a
thing.
Yeah, just like a masculine thing too. It's not just. It's also not healthy to not.
You're right.
So it's just like, men, y'all need to cry a little more. We need to cry a little more.
So it's interesting that in the studio you guys would discuss real things because you're writing music. And so did you film any of that stuff? Because I feel like
I have like voice.
You
notes
love
of
voice
it.
notes.
Yeah. But like video, I have some of it too. But sometimes I can't. I'll have to like. It'll get too unfiltered. And somebody end up start talking crazy about something. I'm like, bro.
Oh, you don't have to put it out, but
I know, but I would love to put it out so people could be like fly on the wall.
Up.
Yeah, or have what's the name come in here and do it?
Who?
The guy we was just talking about before.
Oh, Ralph McDaniels.
Yeah, he come chop it up for me.
Listen, I think things like that are powerful because I love that you said that, because I do feel like for men there's not enough spaces. We hear like the breakup songs. It's never really like. Back in the day, it was kind of like that. Remember Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, I Miss You?
Oh.
He's like crying on the song.
Oh, my. Ever since you've been away. Like, Teddy was.
He was just drinking.
And I pull from just this next album, I pull from that energy, too. Just the delivery is just like, oh, man. Because sometimes I'll be listening to Teddy and I'm like, he ain't even singing.
Yeah.
He's
telling you.
He's just talking and yelling it. But it feels like it's just raw passion and raw emotion. And that's just that's the biggest takeaway that I took from just like that era for this album.
I think when I see a lot of people commenting when they listen to your music that they related it so much to something that happened in their life.
Yes. Like that's like one of the biggest like things that I see. I hear about my voice as well. They love my voice. They love my tone. It's just velvety. But a lot of the, I guess, notes and compliments come from my writing.
Yeah. It low-key makes us want to go through a breakup. So,
Just to feel what I'm feeling.
Like I want to feel like Giveon feels.
But yeah, I do want to keep that emphasis on male just emotion. Like, also, girls love it.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
girls love an emotional man. It's not too like unhinged, but it's like if you having a long day and you come to your lady and be like, I had a long day, and just lay on her lap.
Mm-hmm.
What? She loves that. She gonna rub your head and she gonna be like, he feels safe with me.
I wanna now, Giveon, do you take accountability for the things you do in relationships?
Yeah. But I ain't gonna put it on wax. That's another album.
Because I feel like you talking about some smooth things that you have going on is making me be like, okay, he ain't just getting his heart broke. He's doing some heartbreaking too.
Yeah, but it's also, I was just... Right, like to set it up. Yeah, but I think it was also I just turned 30 like 4 months ago, and people are asking me like, how does it feel to be 30 now? I'm like, it feels the same, but I can't. It hasn't felt exactly the same. There's just a level of awareness. So whenever when I was in the wrong with something, I genuinely didn't know any better.
Okay,
like. Or I just thought I wasn't aware of what I was doing.
Like in your 20s, like you said in the song, you were learning yourself.
Yeah.
Too.
Or
and
trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I say 6 years going down the drain, I guess I'm half to blame.
Okay.
Like,
that's accountability.
You know?
Half of it is your fault.
Half of it. Because it takes two.
And you know, it's interesting because I feel like you've been very private. People don't know like what's going on. I haven't seen no girls like post on, and be like, he did this to me. And somehow you've managed to keep a lot of that under wraps. But people do get an idea like through your music. And it's interesting because I look at like Mary J. Blige can't stand the fact that people want her to keep getting her heart broke because they love the music that she makes when she's making those songs that are about, this happened, and we're like, oh my God, I love that song. Or Toni Braxton having a classic album, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
All of those great songs come through from some type of pain.
Yeah. And it's just like, being in this position, I understand that because sometimes it's like it's therapeutic when you're writing a song. So it's like you're not really writing or making something therapeutic when you're already feeling good and when you're happy, like you lost in it. But there is a way to add certain, I guess, emotions and feelings that are not just somber. Like I don't know if I'll ever just write like a I love you song like that. It'll have to be through my way. Otherwise it'll feel just like contrived and I'm making it so somebody could be like, oh, this is a love song.
A wedding song.
Right.
Because there's certain songs that you're like, oh, that's perfect for a wedding.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how to make music for people.
Okay.
I only know how to express myself.
Okay.
And then either people connect with it or they don't.
What do you think it is like in relationships that, like you said, you were learning in your 20s?
Yeah.
Right. But what is it that like hasn't connected? Like, what are some of the themes that you see and things that haven't worked out for you?
I grew up in a very, I don't want to say aggressive to make it seem like it was just like a hard-nosed, rough household, but I grew up in a very masculine, overly assertive household. And you can't talk to, I mean, I'm sure you can't talk to men like that, but you for sure can't talk to women like that. Even if it's like, you feel like you're right or you're misunderstood, it's still, there's just a way to speak. So I think my lack of communicating, not lack of communicating because I wasn't saying anything, but my delivery, I think it always would get me into a place where it'll make something bigger than what it have to be.
Like, give me an example.
If it's like, if let's say I'm dating someone and she's like, you didn't text me for, or
why didn't you call me before you went to bed?
Or something like that. And I genuinely would, me knowing like, oh, I was just tired. I fell asleep. And if that's not enough, my bad, I'm sorry, I went to sleep. Then it's gonna be like, well, you still could. I'm like, whoa. I would be like, I just said I was sorry. Like, why now we about to go in the blah blah, and I'll just get riled up. But now I would probably be like we don't. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Like, it'll just be a lot more chill, and then that'll make her be like, okay, maybe I need
So maybe you get defensive.
I would get defensive, and I would get more annoyed because I know that I would get defensive, so I'll try to hold it off. Because you know you're telling the truth. Yeah.
And you're like, I said this. I don't want to have to keep on explaining it. Instead of saying, I know it's hard to date somebody like me. And
see, that's a good one. I'm sorry. Work went late.
And so, yes. But and you're right. It is a lot of times delivery and communication. Because it probably isn't easy to date somebody like you.
No. But I know what would make it difficult, and I think the main thing would be the delivery, and because we wouldn't even get to that point if my boundaries don't work for you. So I can establish boundaries and be like, this is my schedule. I don't like texting. I really don't.
You really don't. You like voice notes though.
I like voice notes. Or
why you didn't send me a voice note before you went to bed?
Or let's just get on FaceTime. I'd rather just get on FaceTime. Fine. Yeah. So it's just like.
Although FaceTime could be a thing for women sometimes. We'd be like, oh, I
gotta get ready.
Yeah, I gotta get ready for FaceTime. Give me a
it's
heads
just
up.
the eye. I'm like, where is your face?
Look at the ceiling while we talk.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. So, yeah, but I'm also still finding the answers, and I also learn it through songwriting. I'm still kind of navigating, like, why doesn't this work?
Right. And look, let's bring that to the other song that you have out from the new album, Beloved. Because I love this song, Rather Be. But it is in a way, because I was trying to look at it from both sides. Because a lot of times we do feel like that. I'd rather be in this situation I'm comfortable with being in, even though this is not. You tell me your thoughts, because I look at it like sometimes we stay in something that maybe we shouldn't because it's better than the unknown.
Yeah, for sure. And that uncertainty. But even as I grow, I think I was writing that from a place of whatever flaws that I'm having in this one, it was happening so many times that I'm just gonna be like, oh, this is always gonna happen no matter what relationship I'm in.
See, there's a theme. That's how I was saying. What is it that is a common thing that you see in things in relationships that don't work for you? So it keeps on happening.
Yeah,
so maybe
at some point I gotta be like at some point I'm just like, wait, hold on, why is this same thing happening? And then it could be hopeless about love, like, this ain't gonna ever work. And I think that's like what 30 is about, is accountability.
Okay, we like that.
Yeah.
And the album is called Beloved. And so, like we said, when we saw the trailer for the album, it's a letter. So this is a letter to someone. Okay, so break it down a little for me. I know you don't like to give everything, but
yeah, I will say, without giving it away, I wanted it to feel like a letter to the listener, almost like they're just. This is what I've been going. This is where I've been, and this is just. Here's the story. If you're wondering where I've been at, and I'm just a big fan on multiple meanings as well. So beloved, beloved, it's like it's a lot going on. Okay. Yeah.
So tell me, because I only have these two songs, and I know we're tight-lipped because July 11th is a date, 7/11. You can remember it that way, and you can pre-order it now, right?
Yes.
So. Kind of on this album, because I know everything you do has been very like kind of tied together and cohesive.
Yes.
So with this album, what is it that we're seeing? You talk about growth, and you're saying you really outdone yourself. So what are some things that we can see? Like, what are some of the differences? What is some of the growth?
I think immediately is the sonics of the album. Everything is played live. It was just all one band just played the whole album. So you're gonna hear that organic, it's so soulful because it's just raw and real. It was like jam sessions, and we were like, okay, that's the sound right there.
Okay.
And then I'll come and work on it. So it's just like it flows. And I think my vocal delivery is a really big thing. That's like, I just invoke the exact emotion of the song or whatever it is that I'm talking about. And I think this is just a sound I've always wanted to make, but I wasn't ready yet because one, I didn't have the taste that I want yet, and I didn't have the experience.
Right.
So
Things
I realized,
happen fast for you, like you said.
Exactly. So I didn't even get to sit back and like process it. So I remember trying to make these type of songs before, and something wasn't connecting, but it's because I wasn't singing from a real place.
Okay.
It wasn't coming from like a real raw experience for real. Like I had stories that I could try to have that I can try to like, I want to say pull from that experience, but no, I have to go through that exact experience because when I'm singing, I'm visualizing it happening. I'm just if there's a song where my eyes are frowned up, you can hear that.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So you can hear that. You're gonna be able to hear my like facial expressions and just like my body language in the music.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know people who are really doing music like that now, in the way that you're expressing yourself.
Yeah, I've also learned that it's difficult, and now I don't know how many people can do that because it's still a real craft that you have to work on and build the taste and build up your vocal ability as well.
And you said it's been, obviously people have been waiting, and it's a gift and a curse. Like you said, people are, where's the album? What's going on? And obviously they're anxious. And like you said, you put things out every year, but then you took this break of putting out a full album. So how many songs? You must have done, are you the type of person that does a lot of songs and then you have to figure out?
I love this question. I'm not a vault artist.
Okay.
Like my album is 14 songs. I probably made like 17.
Oh, wow.
18. Yeah, because I love everything I'm making because I'm not making it until it's ready to go. Like it has to like pour out of me. Otherwise, I'm just like feel like I'm pulling teeth. Like the 20s Rather Be, like them those wrote themselves.
Right. It feels like it. And earlier you had with your project where it was kind of a letter to your mother in a way, like with the voice notes to kind of direct us along the way.
It was that last album was just like a conversation between me and her.
So I want to ask you this: does your mom hear the music? Like, when do you send it to her? Do you send her it song by song? Do you wait till it's like, I want you to listen to the whole project?
You know what's funny? I asked my family and my friends, and they like, before they want it, but now they're like, they've been fans of me, but they're really fans of me. So they're like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it yet. I want to hear the album when it drops with everybody else. Because they're like Giveon fans. It's funny.
That's great.
Yeah, my mom is funny with her voice notes.
And you're like, she never thought that all this was going to happen with her son either.
Yeah, but I have a funny story about that because she said that year one. And I was like, that's cute, Mama. That's good. Year two, I'm like, yeah. She's like, I can't believe this. Year 3 and 4, I'm like, all right. You too shocked. Year 5, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
what are you trying
happening.
to say?
Like nothing should surprise you.
Yeah, she's like, you? Oh man, this is crazy.
Is your mom like my mom? Like she goes places and tells people that you're her son?
She learned real quick not to do that.
Okay, because my parents would be calling me like, hey, the person at the supermarket wants to say hi. I'm like, how the hell do they know who you are?
Right. They like, because people was like, she didn't like the attention. And I was like, yeah, you better stop.
Yeah, because they will be like, can you give your son this? I sing too. And
right. I remember when it was early, she would be in the comments. I'm like, you better get up out of there.
Yeah, they're going to follow you. They're going to harass you.
You're going to lose. The internet is just...
Oh, you don't want to be, yeah.
She would try to like defend certain stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's the worst, too, because they're looking still. She may not be but she's still going to look.
Yeah.
And sometimes things bother me because they see it more than if I see it. I can deal with it, but they see it and they get so bothered.
And that's her kid they're talking about. So it's probably like, I just laugh at her like, you better not. But she don't really check.
Do a lot of your music, even in the past, it comes from real things? So were you engaged before?
Oh, that one, Unholy Matrimony.
Oh, that one.
It was, no, I wasn't engaged before.
Okay.
But I was in a long thing that I would like consider stuff. And I was like pretty much writing a song about like I would have had to, because it ended before an engagement, but it was like I would have had to end. I'd rather end a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, than end like a fiance. Or I'm just like, so that was like imagine if I felt like this while I was married. I was just like, oh wow.
What are your thoughts on marriage? Is that something that you're like, in the future, I do want to?
Yeah, I love marriage. I think it's just like, I just have, my grandma and my grandpa were married for like 40 years, 50 years. Something
Oh,
like
wow.
That. Yeah, my uncle, shout out Uncle Tony Pepper, married. Yeah, I grew up around marriage. I will say I've seen a lot of marriages end though.
Yeah, we all have.
So it's just like, it's tricky. I would never be the type to be like, y'all should get married, because I'm like, that is hard.
Yeah. I support anybody that wants to get married, but I'm not going to try to tell you what you need to do.
I'm also not big on telling anybody to do anything. I'm just like, I don't do what you got. I don't care. Like, I'm not paying your bills. I'm not feeding you. I'm not doing anything. That's how I was raised. If somebody not paying your bills in your house, cleaning up, why do they even hold any weight for what they have to say about what you can do for your life? Like,
what if one of your friends was about to marry somebody and you didn't think they should?
Oh, I'm gonna tell him or her. Nah, it depends.
You'd be like, listen to this song.
Yeah, nah, it depends. Like,
take what you will from it.
Because I've been in situations where I'm like, people don't play about that.
Yeah,
like they don't play. Some people are like, you think so? Okay, I won't. Ooh. Like, nah, I don't think it works like that. It's going to be on some like, yeah, they going to get married anyway. And then there's going to be like you don't like them. So it's just going to be, I'm just be like, do what you got to do.
Now, as I'm asking you about previous songs and things that are true or not true, lie again. So are you the type of person in a relationship that will lie because it's easier?
Used to be.
Okay, so
because
that's part
I thought it would help, but then I'm just like, it's just gonna come back up, or it's just gonna make you feel off. Because then one lie is never one lie,
right? And then you got to remember it later,
and just be like, I said that. Be like, yeah, just like. But I wrote that 3 years ago. I was a lot more like, I think insecure about certain things would be the best way to put it. Yeah, very insecure about someone's past. If it was like too crazy, just like, ooh.
Oh, that's interesting. So you don't feel that way anymore about somebody. You want to know someone's past and you wouldn't look at that as a negative.
Yeah, because at that time I was a lot more green as well, because I didn't have a past.
Right.
I was in a long-term relationship and I was single for not that long. So when hearing that, it's like, oh, you was out here living. Like, but now it's like,
but now you have a past.
Yes, now I have a past. So I'm like, all right, I get it. I think it's more of like an ego thing of like, but also it depends on how mature the person with the past is. If it seems like somebody who still haven't outgrown that or outpaced that, it still could feel like,
yeah,
like, I don't trust something.
I need your mentality to be right.
Yeah.
I think is what it is. And then I don't know who you're going to end up dating. This is going to be so interesting when you pop out.
I'm first off, I will. I mean, I'm not gonna never say never.
You never know.
But it's just people are so in people's business.
Yes, they are. And don't let nobody see you outside on a date. It's gonna be
like, and then it's just like, okay, if I'm dating somebody and then I go to lunch with my female friend,
yep,
that's gonna be a whole story.
Right, it will.
So I'm just like, why not just
now? It's crazy.
Oh, I just move quiet. Okay. I'm just like, nope.
Like a ninja.
Stealthy. But I also like to say I live in like a sweet pocket of like fame or celebrity. Because I'm not really putting myself in positions that will make me more like famous.
Yeah, you're not trying to be on the blogs.
Yeah, because
you're
otherwise
minding your business.
It's gonna bleed into other areas of my life that I don't want it to bleed into. But the only downside is the way these songs touch people And like the way they'll be crying and telling me a song helped them, I'm also
wanting to tell your story so they could know.
Yeah, there's somebody, because I'm not moving around maybe a little more, there's somebody who haven't heard a song from me that would comfort them.
Right. I do like the mystique of you, though. I think it works for you.
Okay, good.
It works because the music does really speak for itself. Mm-hmm. And so in this situation, yes, I think you're good.
Yeah, like even that. On social media, if I'll post, I throw like a little me drinking a matcha or a fit pic or something, they'll be like, yeah. Where is the music? I'm like,
well, like they do that to you. They do that to Rihanna.
Yeah,
it's good company to be in.
I'd much rather that than I post the music and they don't care. Like They just want to see my face.
Yeah.
So it's just like I picked them being like, yeah.
Well, listen, I appreciate you. I know you got a ton of things that you're doing, but now that we're friends, next time I'm going to get more into your business.
Yes, and I'll tell you.
Okay,
everything.
good.
I feel like you give great relationship advice. I don't know
You
why.
do? Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, not the way you reacted.
No. Well, no, you know what it is? So the reason why I've been giving advice up here on Ask E a lot, but I also have a lot of male and female friends, so I've heard it all, so I'm very non-judgmental. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like I could, just based off of meeting you today and hearing the music, I can see a little bit of, you're 30 now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
there's some growth there.
I think the 20s is a fun time to make mistakes, and you have to learn and grow from them. Mm-hmm. And so I get that from you. And like you're saying, this is your album, so, don't let me down. No.
Right.
I'm kidding. But Beloved, or Beloved.
Beloved. But it's just a play on.
Yeah, it's a play on both of them. Mm-hmm. Well, I can't wait. Any guest appearances we should know about?
I want to do this one by myself. Again.
The whole album is by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, we like it.
I love doing it. My mom not even on it.
What?
Yeah, she was trying to send voice notes. I was like, you gonna have
to
come.
Look, you got to wait with that once.
Yeah. You're going to have to come play the bass or guitar or something.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming through. I so appreciate it. And I cannot wait for the new project. Mm-hmm. And just congratulations on everything. Honestly, so excited that you came here. Because like I said, you're mystique. I know you don't go everywhere. So I appreciate you.
Yes. No, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm excited for you to hear what I mean by I think I outdid myself.
Okay. Yeah. I can't wait.
Way up.